한국 K2 전차가 유럽에서 인기를 끌고 있는 가운데 독일 레오파르트 전차는 얼마 전 사고로 인해 포탑 뚜껑이 날아가 버리는 사고가 본 채널에서도 며칠 전 영상으로 나갔는데요. 이 사고가 독일 레오파르트 전차 판매에 얼마만큼이나 영향을 줄지 내심 기대하고 있습니다. 이에 따른 반사이익도 함께 기대하고 있고요. 이미 사고 이전부터 판매가 떨어지고 있는데 이번 사고로 인해 엎친 데 덮친 격으로 판매는 더욱더 떨어질 것으로 예상됩니다. 왜냐하면 이번 사고로 여러 매체에서는 독일 레오파르트 전차의 기술적인 신뢰도를 의심하기 시작했기 때문입니다. 독일 레오파르트 전차 명성에 똥칠을 한 격이죠. 그러나 한국 K2 전차는 이번 사고와는 무관하게 인기가 계속해서 상승하고 있습니다. 아마도 디지털화 기술 등의 고급 기술력이 인기를 끌고 있는 것 같습니다. 결국 이번 사고가 미치는 영향은 아직 알 수 없겠지만 한국 K2 전차의 판매량이 증가할 가능성은 높아 보입니다. 이번 사고를 예견이나 했을까요? 사고 나기 일주일 전에 어느 한 채널에서는 한국 K2 판매와 독일 레오파르트 전차와의 판매 속도를 보도했는데요. 한번 보실까요?
The K2 Black Panther tank is selling well in Europe. What about the Leopard 2? Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sidem MBT channel. At the end of 2022, the large number of K2 Black Panther tanks flowing to European regions, such as Poland and Norway, this might be a bit of a threat for the German-made Leopard 2 tanks. Important early competition between the Leopard 2 and the Black Panther took place in Norway. The country's army is evaluating both types for cold weather operations. South Korean defense industry experts say tests show the K2 fares better than the Leopard 2 S7. As expected, the Leopard 2 S7 does have better overall armor, but Korea compensated by offering armored versions to Poland and Norway. Experts say the K2 essentially replicates the concept and design of the Leopard 2 by adopting the same approach to combat operations. Both are excellent tanks. Both are designed to be operated by conscript soldiers. The Hyundai Rotem adds major improvements to the base configuration, including an attractive and valid autoloader and variable suspension. Norway decided to order 54 Leopard 2 S7V for $1.9 billion US. Although some Norwegian media say the military has recommended purchasing the K2 due to its lower cost and faster delivery rates. Of course, every major arms purchase is also a geopolitical signal. Small differences in abilities probably didn't really matter on the battlefield. And the bonus of closer ties with neighbors always pays off more than alliances with distant partners like South Korea. The core capabilities of the tanks include a stabilized 55 caliber 120mm main gun. It can be relied upon to penetrate enemy tanks from a distance and attack on the move. The tank is also equipped with a high magnification day and night sight. But it is also possible to consider the differentiating points that the two tanks have. The 67 to 73 ton Leopard 2 and 61 ton K2 were designed for defensive warfare in a variety of environments. The German product tank design was built to thwart Soviet tanks in free combat across open terrain, although post-Cold War tank models improved overall protection to minimize vulnerability to mines and ambushes in urban and counterinsurgency environments. Meanwhile, the K2 was engineered to fight along the mountainous demilitarized zone between North and South Korea, where limited maneuverability reduces exposure to flank attack. This prompted the K2 designers to reduce side and rear armor to save weight on land, and the customized polished K2 will feature the addition of many reinforced rear side guards. The focus on mountainous terrain is also reflected in the K2 dynamic high-drop pneumatic suspension. This allows raising or lowering the tank elevation. Thus, K2 can crouch in a sideways tilt position, or kneel down and press the weapon down 16 degrees to strike targets far below, or tilt up to fire ammunition up to 3 miles away. Another difference between the tanks was the crew of 3 K2 Black Panther and 4 crew of Leopard 2. This was because the K2 Black Panther's CN-08 smoothbore gun was ACA-loaded. The human loader brings some added utility and speed, but the next generation of Western tanks will likely use an automatic loader to save space and weight. Regarding the power pack, currently the tank retains the German-made Renk transmission as in the Leopard 2. Despite Hyundai having designed the EST-15K transmission, the power pack failed to pass a 10,000-kilometer damage-free test in 2020. As a result, the engine was not accepted into South Korean service. However, the South Korean power pack was deemed acceptable for integration into the Turkish Altay main battle tank, while the revised EST-15K transmission will be re-evaluated by South Korea. Experts argue that the real vital difference between the tanks is not their combat performance. Rather, it is from the maturity of Leopard 2 and a broad and experienced user base from 20 countries. They share development costs, and with many user countries having their own supply chains, cheap parts are readily available from a variety of sources. The German army was notoriously short of the spare parts to keep its vehicles operational. Only 2 of its 6 tank battalions reportedly had more than 10 operational tanks out of the required 44. Their numbers dwindled rapidly, along with the Marder II and Leopard 1, as these types were also shipped to Ukraine.
시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 구독과 좋아요도 부탁드립니다.